Welcome to the Cutesy Shelf. My name is DM. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a heart-shaped box. I got some interest in how I turned my Chaos Craft box that looks like this. On the inside, it's got a rectangular shaped box into an actual heart-shaped box that looks like this. And even though I'm going to be working with this specific box and these specific measurements today, you can actually apply this tutorial to any heart shape that you wish. And then you can also just adjust the measurements so that you can have the depth of the box like any size you wish as well. So right now I have the lid of the box like slightly smaller than the bottom of the box. So this is what it looks like. And then you can definitely adjust that. And then here are some other examples of other hearts that I used. So you can apply this to any heart shape, any size you wish. And it's not very hard to do. I'm going to be showing you how to do that. So if you wanted to stick around for the tutorial, I'm going to be showing you that. And also I wanted to point out that you don't need special tools for this. For this tutorial, I am going to be using the Chaos Craft heart box die set, which looks like this. And I'm going to be using the largest heart layering piece, which looks like this. And in case you're wondering, this heart measures 5¼ inches wide by 4 3/4 inches tall, roughly. And so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut out 4 hearts. And I like to use 110-pound cardstock as it provides like a great amount of sturdiness. Okay, and then the next step would be to determine how wide you want your box to be. So for example, the depth of my box is 2 inches. And so this is what it looks like. And so if you're making your own measurements, you just have to keep in mind that the lid should be smaller, but for this tutorial I am going to be using specific measurements, and you can adjust that after you see how it's done here. So the next step is we're going to be making the lid of the box first, and what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut 2 strips of paper that measures 11 inches by 2 inches. And so I already did that off camera. And then you're going to take one of these, and on the 11-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then I'm just going to move this over here. And then we're going to turn it onto the 2-inch side here, and then we're going to score at 1½ inch. And then we're going to take the other one, and we're going to, on the 2-inch side here, we're going to score at 1½ inch. We don't need to place the other score mark on the other side here. So, and then once you have these 2 strips of paper, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to use your Alina Craft box making die, which looks like this. And you're going to run these strips through your die cut machine. And what I would do is, because this is not, long enough for the length of the paper, you're going to have to cut it here first on this strip. And I wouldn't go like right along this score line. That way, like you just go slightly above, like move this slightly above. That way you don't have a whole bunch of holes on the side of your box. So you would run it once through, and then just move your die over and then run it on the rest of your piece of paper. And the same for this other piece of paper at the top here. So to save time, I already did that off camera, and it should look like this. And then also I just wanted to quickly point out that if you don't have this die, you can make your own flaps like this by just cutting little triangles into your paper like this. And then just don't go too close to the score line. And then you would have to do that like along the length of your paper, cut like these little triangles so that you could have these flaps. Okay, so you would do that. And then now once we have our pieces of paper like all cut out with the flaps, what you're gonna need to do is on the score mark here, we're just gonna cut this part off. And then we're gonna add our adhesive. And I like to use score tape, but you could use whatever you wish.
So add the score tape here along the flaps on both pieces. And then take your bone folder so that you could burnish this tape so that you get a nice stick.
Okay, and then next what you're gonna wanna do is take your bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, just use a like smooth pen or pencil. And we're gonna curl this just to break up the fibers. And this also helps to reduce like creases in the paper. And then next what we're gonna do is, if you wanted to layer like your paper with decorative paper, you're gonna need to do that step now. And let me give you the measurements. So for your decorative paper, right, you are gonna need to cut 2 strips that measures 11 inches by 1.5 inches. And so I already did that off camera. So this is what my 2 strips look like. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue these 2 strips to these like sheets of paper. And then also what I wanted to do is point out that these flaps, this is gonna be attached to the top of the box. So if your paper is directional, just make sure that this is at the top, and then these are glued on like this, so that your paper is not upside down. So I'm just gonna make a little flap here, because we did that on the piece of paper. Because one of these strips has a flap, which it should be bent backwards. But what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to glue these on using liquid adhesive. And I would recommend doing that now, because if you try to do it later, it's gonna just, you may or may not get bubbles. Also, before we do glue it on, I forgot to tell you to just curl the decorative sheets as well. That way, we can break up the fibers and reduce creases. Okay, and then just add liquid glue all along this strip. And then add the first decorative sheet. And then just make sure, it's lined up and straight. This is kind of harder to do on camera, but just make sure it's straight, and then smooth it out so that you don't get any bubbles. And then I would also take my bone folder and go like this, just to like iron out any bubbles. And then we can just cut this piece off. And then you're gonna do the same thing for the other side, which I'm gonna do off camera. So once you have your 2 pieces layered like this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the liquid glue onto this little flap here, and so that we can attach these 2 pieces. And then just make sure this flap is going on this ugly side of the paper over here, the one without the pattern. That way it's hidden. Okay, and I would even bend it like this, just to make sure, because this is going to be the top part of our heart. Okay, and normally you would wait for this to like dry. Sorry, just have some glue there. And then you're just gonna push these flaps down like this.
And then use your bone folder to give it a good crease. The other side as well here.
That way the adhesive sticks nicely to these flaps. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna start attaching this piece to the top of our heart. So this is what it would look like. So we would just grab one of our hearts and then just attach this. So you're gonna, what we're gonna do is it's gonna go like this. So we can take the tape off of like one side here first. And then for this, you're gonna want to make sure that this whole strip goes like right along the edge of the heart. So we're gonna make sure this is like, I would even push this a little down a bit in case it wants to like raise up. So, and then we're gonna start like attaching this whole strip along the edge of the heart. And then what I would do is just set this onto your table if you want, so that, you know, the walls of your box are not like collapsing in. And this is kind of harder to do on camera because like I'm not right over the heart, like not looking right over it, but that's what you would do, like attach this all along. Okay, and then once you get to the point of the heart here, what we're gonna want to do is create a fold line. And for this, what I would do is just grab a ruler, and then you're gonna have to like feel for this and then just eyeball it so that, you know, it's right at the tip here, and then we create a fold. That way we can continue with this. And then just make it, try to get to stay along the edge as much as possible. It's actually harder to do this on camera. Okay, and then, so it should look like this. And then for this part, now we're gonna remove the adhesive on this side. And I did make it longer, that way you don't come up short in case you're working with like a bigger heart. Okay, and then just continue along, and then just take your time on this part because you don't want to, like, you just want it to be like straight as much as possible, and try to stay right along the edge. So continue to add this strip to the edge of your heart. And then we're gonna eyeball this, like you don't need all this, so we're gonna cut some of this off. And I see that this is enough over here, so I'm just gonna cut this off. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add some like liquid glue to the inside of this part right here. As well as the outside piece here, just like a little bit. Okay, and then just fold it in like this, and then continue putting these this piece of paper like down along the edge of the heart. Sorry if I'm like blocking this, it's kind of hard to do on camera. And then once you get here, just make sure that this is all like the walls of your heart look like they're upright. And then just hold this slightly a bit so that it can, the glue can dry here. And then once it looks all good, like you're happy with it, what I would do is just take your bone folder to burnish these flaps down. So take it, and so that, you know, these flaps get a really good stick to the inside of the box here. Like so. And then now we're just gonna grab like another heart, and we're gonna layer this on the inside to cover all those ugly flaps. So for this, you just cut a sliver off the, like around the heart so that, you know, it fits nicely. So just cut like a small sliver like this all around the heart. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the liquid adhesive so that we can layer the inside, and this really reinforces the box and helps to keep those flaps in place. Okay, that looks good. And then just use your finger to smooth it out and make sure that it lies flat here. Okay, and then so we have the lid of the box done now. And then so now next what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the bottom of the box. The bottom of the box is just 1/4 inch longer than the top. And so what you're gonna need to do is cut 2 strips of paper that measure 11 inches by 2¼ inches. And then on the 11-inch side, you're gonna want to score one of them at 1/2 inch. And then just turn your paper over to the 2¼ inch side, and we're gonna score at 1 3/4 inch. So 1 3/4. And then you're gonna score the other piece on the 2¼ inch side again at 1 3/4. Okay, and then so these are our bottom pieces, and again what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to take your box making die and then cut the these 2 strips of paper. So I did that off camera, and so I have my 2 strips, and then on the one strip with the little flap, we're just gonna cut the extra off here like this. Okay, and then we're just gonna grab our bone folder and curl the paper. Curl both papers. Add our score tape to this.
To the little flaps. Add our score tape. So basically the same thing. And then take our bone folder and burnish the tape.
And then also we're gonna need to cut our decorative sheets, and for the decorative sheets the measurements is 11 by 1 3/4 inches. So you're gonna need to cut 2 of them, which I did here. And so I had this ready, and then what we're gonna do is before we do that, we're gonna fold these down.
The flaps down and burnish for both pieces.
Okay, and then glue these on. And then I just wanted to point out that these flaps are actually gonna be on the bottom of the box. So it should look like this. And oh yeah, here is we're gonna fold this one backwards like this. So this little flap should be in the middle here. And then this is the other one with these little flaps on the bottom. So again, if your paper is directional, make sure that this is the bottom of the paper. So what I'm gonna do is like glue these on top here. And before we glue these, we're also gonna curl our paper. Okay, and then I'm gonna glue these off camera just to save time. So once you have your layering pieces glued on, what we're gonna do is on this little flap here, we're gonna add liquid adhesive, and then we're gonna glue this, we're gonna attach these two strips basically, like this. And normally, like, you would give this like a moment to dry properly. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab one of the hearts that we cut out, and then you're gonna notice that on these hearts, there's actually an embossed line like around the edge here, like if you can see on the camera. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be adding these strips like on that inside heart line. So see how it goes all the way around? I'm just gonna be adding that strip like right along that line. So let me do that. So it's gonna look like this. And I'm gonna remove the adhesive on one side of the heart here. Sorry, remove the backing on the score tape. Okay, and I'm just gonna like move it over here slightly. I'm gonna see if I can go in a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so because the bottom of the box has to be smaller than the top, this should be going on the like inside line here. And it's gonna be hard for me to do this on camera. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start lining this up right along the edge. And then we just go right around, like go all the way around the heart. Gosh, I hope I'm in frame here. Okay.
So just continue along.
It's gonna be much easier to do if you're like looking right over the heart. But okay, and then once we get to the point here again, we're gonna make a fold line. So at the bottom of the heart here, we're gonna grab our ruler and then like kind of eyeball it and feel for it to make sure, you know, we get a nice fold line here. And make sure this is in focus. And sorry if it's like the lighting is just terrible because it got dark so quick. Okay, so make the fold line, and I'm just gonna fold it like this to make sure I get a nice little crease here, and then continue on the rest of the heart. Okay. I didn't make such a nice fold line, so I'm gonna fix that off camera here for a second. Okay, so I was able to fix that off camera, and I just continued along the heart with the rest of the strip here. And then on the other side, we just removed the backing on the tape and then complete the heart. And then if you just put the heart against, put this on your table, the walls of your heart are gonna be upright. And it's important to make sure that this point at the top of the heart is like really, you know, you put that down nicely like that. And then just continue. And then I'm gonna cut part of this off because I can, gonna eyeball it to see where I have enough. And then add my liquid adhesive on this side. Oops, sorry. Sorry if I was out of frame. Okay, so, and then on the back of this side as well. and then fold this inwards, and then just complete the heart. Okay, and so once we get here, and then just smooth this out, and then just take your other piece, which is the top of the heart, and see if it fits properly onto the bottom. I'm just gonna zoom out slightly here. Okay, see if it fits over the top. So it should go like this, and then okay, so that looks good. And so once it looks good, you just make sure this is glued nicely. Take your bone folder and burnish the rest of the flaps into place so that, you know, they stick nicely. Okay, and then we're gonna take the other layering piece, and then we're gonna cut right up to that emboss line that you see on the inside of the heart, so that we can layer this. So I'm just gonna grab my scissors and cut right up to that emboss line.
And maybe even, you know, slightly more so that this can fit inside the heart, no problem.
Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my liquid adhesive, add glue to the back of this. And then just lay it down. Use your finger to smooth out the edges on the inside of the heart here. Or you can use your bone folder. And then this really reinforces it so that the box is strong. And then just bring back the lid. And then once you hold it into place, like it should help keep its shape. And then the next step would be, okay, so this is like basically the heart is done now. And next what you would want to do is like, you know, decorate it. So you could cut out more layering pieces on the inside, as well as the bottom if you wish. And then of course, like layer the top, which, you know, and then basically you're done. So that is it for this tutorial. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'd be happy to answer. Thank you so much. Bye.